J-hook. So we have our piece of metal here. We're going to cut it down and forge it into a J-hook. This is my forge. This is where we heat the metal up. It uses this tank of propane over here. It takes that, chucks it into there, keeps it nice and hot so that I can get the metal hot. Over here is my anvil where I take a hammer and I whack the metal into shape. This is a 65-pound anvil and it's got some tongs so I can handle the metal without burning my hands. So, a lot of times in movies and TV shows they're set in the medieval era. So you'll see them using a coal forge. The reason I don't use a coal forge is because it's much more expensive. A bag of coal costs as much as $80 compared to $25 for a tank of propane. Also, coal gives you lung cancer. That's not fun. So I use propane. Alright, so now it's been about 2 minutes since the last clip, and our metal is nice and hot, so we're going to go ahead and start forging. The first thing we need to do is cut it down so that it's not as... We're going to put a scroll on the end of it, because I realized I heated up the wrong part of the metal to cut it. So we're going to make the scroll first, and then we're going to go to cut it. So how you make the scroll is you want to put a taper on the end of it. So we come over to our anvil here, to the sharp part of the anvil, and we want to make sure we hit it like this. And now it's got nice and cold, we can stick it back in the fire so it heats back up. We're going to repeat this process until we get it nice and thin. And then we're going to put a scroll on the end of it. Alright, so now that we got the end of the bar nice and tapered, we're going to put a scroll on the end of it. The scroll is basically this little artistic flair that really helps you build technique. It gives you some nice practice. So what we're going to do is our metal has to be nice and hot. You have to go quick, because if it's not hot, it's not going to form very well. So we're going to take it out of the fire straight to the anvil. We're going to stick just a little bit over the edge. Curl it down. Make sure the rest of it's nice and flat. And just like that, it's already too cold. So now stick it back in. And then we just wait for it to get hot again. It's probably hot. But because it's nice and thin, it heats up really quickly. So now we're just going to put the last bit of scroll on there. Have a nice little scroll, and it just puts a little artistic flair on it. Alright, so how we're going to bend this is we're going to use this little piece of pipe, and we're just going to hammer it around the pipe. So, take it out of the fire, stick it in, and then we just follow it. And now that we have the curve form, now we have to make sure it's nice and flat. So our hook isn't looking like this, kind of. You get what I mean? This is what's called a planishing stroke. You just go around it with nice, short taps to make sure that it looks nice and you can't see obvious hammer blows in it. So if you see obvious hammer blows, it looks really bad once the metal gets cooled. Alright, so now that we have the metal nice and straight how we want it, we need to get rid of all the heat up here so we can work down here and I can hold it high up there. What we're going to do is come over to this bucket of water we have. It's the cool clip you see in all the movies. Alright, so 3, 2, 1. And whenever you do this, you have to make sure you swirl it around so that it doesn't develop a layer of steam around it that doesn't allow the rest of it to move. All the way up, everywhere the heat is. Because the heat could be up here, but the water's not reaching up there. You have to make sure you get it up there. Now, I can hold it. So now we're going to heat up this part so we can cut it out. That's still hot. So we're going to heat up this part so we can cut it off. Where's my sauce? Alright, so now that it's just practically bending under its own weight, you can just do this. Yeah, chuck this back in the fire. What we're going to have to do is to bend the hook downwards so we actually have a hook and not just a straight piece of curved metal. So that's the next step. So let's get the metal nice and hot. That's what we're going to do. And remember, when you do this, it has to be really hot, alright? You want that nice, bright orange color. I haven't been mentioning color enough, but color is very important when you do this. Alright, kill it. That's all the rounds. Got it. And I don't do it. Now we have some replenishing strikes.